Thank you all so much. Chair Eisenstadt, Vice Chair Holt, Mr. Foxman, Director Bloomfield, Leader Jeffries, President Biden, most importantly, to all of our Holocaust survivors, welcome to the United States Capitol. You honor us by your presence today, all of you. Thank you. We're here during the days of Remembrance and also Jewish American Heritage Month, and on the anniversary of the Nazis' unconditional surrender to remember and to reflect. As part of Congress's mandate for the Holocaust Memorial Museum, this event is hosted every year because memories teach us. As it's been said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed, of course, to repeat it. Director Bloomfield has been leading the museum for over a quarter century now. And if you have a chance to go on a tour with her and ask her what keeps her going, she'll say something like this, which is a certain truth. Democracy is fragile. We have to remember that. And we're all capable of falling prey to our worst impulses. By the turn of the 20th century, Germany was a thriving democracy. They were on the cutting edge of technology. They had a strong economy. They were highly educated. But that did not stop evil and darkness from overtaking that country. German universities, like those at Strasbourg, were at the heart of Renaissance and intellectual life. But it was at those same elite centers of learning where Jewish faculty and students were suddenly expelled, where anti-Jewish courses were introduced, and where professors performed horrific pseudoscience experiments on Jewish people brought from nearby concentration camps. We remember what happened then, and now today, we are witnessing American universities quickly becoming hostile places for Jewish students and faculty. The very campuses which were once the envy of the International Academy have succumbed to an anti-Semitic virus. Students who were known for producing academic papers are now known for stabbing their Jewish peers in the eyes with Palestinian flags. Faculty who once produced cutting-edge research are now linking arms with pro-Hamas protesters and calling for global intifada. Administrators who were once lauded by their peers for leadership are now barring Jewish faculty and choosing not to protect their Jewish students. And these Jewish students are physically threatened when they walked on campus as their peers hold posters repeating the Nazi propaganda and the program, The Final Solution. Now is a time for moral clarity, and we must put an end to this madness. We understand that this rise in anti-Semitism comes just after the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust, on October 7th. And with our survivors before us, if you close your eyes in the quietness of your own heart, you can almost hear the glass of Jewish storefronts shattered by stormtroopers. You could see fathers being executed at point blank in the ghettos. You can feel a brother's hand slipping out of his sister's as men in uniforms separate them into lines, and they can only mouth to one another, "Everything will be okay," hoping that it would be. You can hear screams coming from the gas chambers. They last for 20 minutes, and then quiet returns, but only for a moment, until a whip cracks another Jewish back. The most depraved parts of humanity are heard in the shouts of little girls and seen in the rings of blue smoke. And then you reopen your eyes, hoping the memories of that nightmare will finally go away. But now you're met with new images of young Jewish girls gunned down at a music festival. Infants once held tightly in their mother's arms are thrown into ovens and cooked alive. Little boys are murdered by men carrying black, red, and green flags. Elderly women are raped, not by men speaking German, but Arabic. The wail of children pierces through nearby gunfire, a cry that only comes from watching a father being slaughtered. And across Israel, bodies are burned beyond recognition. Just as in 1940, this violence was perpetrated by those who hate the Star of David. It is uncomfortable for us to be so graphic, but we must be graphic right now because the threat of repeating the past is so great. We have to remember, we have to look evil directly in the face because some things are so wrong. Some are trying to downplay and justify what happened on October 7th. Some are even blaming Israel for the barbaric, inhuman attacks. There are some who would prefer to criticize Israel and lecture them on their military tactics. They would rather do that than punish the terrorists who perpetrated these horrific crimes. In Israel's greatest moment of need, when it is quite literally fighting for its existence as a nation, we have to do all that we can, everything within our power, to ensure that evil does not prevail. This is a time for all of us to come together. And it's in these troubling times we must look to this audience, to the survivors of the Holocaust and their descendants, to help us remember and to bear witness. Several weeks ago, I am very proud to report to you that the United States Congress overwhelmingly passed security assistance to Israel to help protect its borders. That's right. We did that together, and we did it because it was the right thing to do. We did it to help Israel protect its borders, to fend off threats from Iran and Hamas and Hezbollah and all the proxies. I was proud to pass that package after months of conversations with Prime Minister Netanyahu, with the ambassadors and all the people there who are trying to defend their nation against the threats that are facing them. And now I think it's very important that we deliver that critical assistance without any delay at all. The reason that act was so significant, the reason that our vote was so important, is because as a Congress, together, we sent a message. We bore witness to the past, and we told the world, Israel and the Jewish people are not alone. And we kept our promise that we made decades ago, never again. In my hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana, there's a sweet lady named Rose Van Tyne. She bore witness to what she saw in Auschwitz, and she's gone into classrooms and she's taught new generations of students about the horrors of the Holocaust. With us today is Mr. Frank Cohn. He escaped Germany days before Kristallnacht in 1938. 5 years later, he was drafted in the U.S. Army and served in Belgium and in Germany to defeat the Nazis and liberate his fellow Jewish brothers and sisters. Frank, would you stand? Would you stand? Today, we emulate folks like Rose and Frank and all those in this audience who witnessed the great horrors of the 20th century. And we also recommit to the decades-old promise, never again. All of us commit to that, never again. When our government knew what was happening to the Jewish people, when the Axis powers were aligning and invading, we chose to respond only after freedom was lost. Not today. Today, we must act decisively in this moment. And we must teach the next generation. Correct those who deny the facts of the Holocaust or October 7. We must protect our Jewish students, and we must give our full-throated, unequivocal support to the nation of Israel. And we must, all of us, together, call out anti-Semitism in all of its forms without equivocation and without delay. This is our moment. We meet today with the horrific memories of October 7 and with the Holocaust in our mind, knowing that democracy really is so fragile. And we seek to fulfill God's command to Moses in Deuteronomy, as it is inscribed in the Holocaust Memorial Museum. Guard our souls carefully, lest you forget the things your eyes saw, and lest these things depart your heart all the days of your life. We must always remember, and we will. God bless you.